Hello and welcome to your Mining Disrupt News Surge for Monday, June 23rd, 2023. Take a moment to scan this QR code right there, the one right in front of the cowboy hat. Get your tickets to the Mining Disrupt Expo number 2, this time happening in Texas, right around Dallas, right near the airport, about 10-ish miles from the airport, happening November 11th through the 13th of this very year. That's right, number 2 this year. I saw there's some deals. You can get certain percentages off. I saw for a moment a buy one, get one free. Not sure that's going to still apply when you watch this, but if you jump on it quick, you might be able to get some really good deals, especially group deals, sponsorship deals. The early bird gets the worm, or in this case, the early miner gets the block, maybe? I don't know. Anyhow, maybe my analogy failed there, but you can probably score some deals if you're savvy. Let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin numbers right now. We're looking at a price, a minor dip, but we're still over $100,000. How is $100,000 boring? I saw the on-chain fees drop down to a single sat for both priority and anytime a couple days ago, but now we're still in the low single digits. Hash rate is still screaming along. 897 exahash average for the last 14 days. Blocks are coming in a little slow, but our node number is still over 22,000. And we're talking about nodes today. We are talking about nodes. If you have been on Twitter, if you've been on X for the past month at all, and you're even remotely interested in Bitcoin, it's almost impossible for you to have missed at least something of the conversation regarding op underscore return. Now, I am by no means a coder. I am not a developer. I don't understand the back end of this stuff. So I turned to Grok and I asked Grok, I said, is running a node with core that does not, or soon to not, have the op return filter in it, or running a node with knots on it, is it kind of like accessing the same internet, but somebody's using Safari, say that's core, and somebody over here is using Chrome, that's not? And Grok said, no, it's not even that different. It's more like both people are using Chrome, but one person has an extension and the other does not. If we were to look at it through that lens, it's almost like the version of Chrome, if you will, has an ad blocker, and this one does not. So what does that matter? How does that really practically affect you or Bitcoin in the long term? If you are running a node with knots and you're blocking certain transactions, certain large transactions, you might go, well, I don't want to block monetary transactions. From what I understand, and again, I'm certainly not Luke Dasher, I'm not a developer. I might get this wrong, but from my understanding, Delio's understanding, that's not going to happen. You're not going to block valid transactions. What you might block, what your node may block, are large, call them files, call them, I guess they would technically be called a transaction, but it wouldn't be a monetary transaction. They're so big. It's a single instance of like a cat picture or a song or somebody's entire restaurant menu that they want on the blockchain for some God only knows why reason. And you're noticing, whoa. I want to keep this strictly monetary. Now, here's one last point I want to make in regards to the whole core versus knots thing. Some people might be wondering, well, if I'm on core, I got a node back in the day and I kind of use it here and there when I need to. If I switch to knots, do I lose my Bitcoin? Is my Bitcoin not Bitcoin anymore? Is it something else? Is it knots Bitcoin? What happens there? Here's the answer to that. Your Bitcoin stays the same. It is no different. I made the switch on my node from core to knots. It was as easy as clicking a button. I had to resync or something. It took a minute or 5. It was really quick. I basically walked away and came back and it was done. And that was it. That was it. That was it. I was able to do transactions. I was able to, it was so simple. And my Bitcoin is exactly the same. It is not a fork. I need to repeat that. It is not a fork. Now, in the event, let me just cover this real quick. In the event that a fork does happen sometime in the future, you'll keep your Bitcoin. That's not going anywhere. You're keeping that. But you'll also get a second copy of the whatever garbity gobbity gubbity gook Bitcoin that somebody comes up with. So you've got two. You've got your original, the real stuff, and then you got the fake gobbledygook. Now, whatever you want to do with that fake gobbledygook is entirely up to you. Do you want to sell it and buy more of the real stuff? Have at it. Do you want to wait a little bit and see if this spikes up because people are people and they do silly things and they play dumb games and they try to get dumb prizes? Well, you can do that. Or you could just sell it immediately. You could wait. You could, whatever you want to do. This is not where you come for financial advice. I usually start this, but I got to remind you, this is not where you come for financial advice. This is where you come for entertainment and education. And that was my goal today, to educate you about the differences between running a core node versus a NOTS node. Really, the difference is you, because ultimately, you are the node. So what is it that you want to do? Do you want to help the monetary network of Bitcoin, or do you want to provide a place for people to store their cat pictures? You can do that, but that's something other than Bitcoin. I don't know what that is, but you can do whatever you want to do. You do you, and I'll see you in Texas, November 11th through the 13th. Until next week.